Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rabbi Isai, we're holding here by the Mishnah. Yutes Amud Beis by the Mishnah. Hashoichet min azdodim shchitosik sheira. If somebody shechts from the side of the neck instead of, let's say, directly over here, you shecht from over here. Shchitosik sheira. Rashi points out, unlike all the other Mishnais, hashoichet means only after the fact. Over here it means l'chatchila. You could shecht on the side of the neck l'chatchila. Hamoilek min azdadin milikasi psula. Milika, what's milika? You take your thumbnail. You have a nice long thumbnail that's sharp, and you go to the back of the neck right over here. You push through. I'll show you a video. There's different types. This is a little gory. Boys, I'm warning the oilam. It has blood in it. If you don't like blood, do not look. We're going to get some emails about this one. No, you really looked away. This is two-handed. He grabs with one hand, punctures with the second hand. It's to lessen the whole effect. This is with the same hand. The same hand does it. Garnished. Or this could be right over here. This is how Yoshi did it. It breaks the spine and the spinal cord and goes through the veshet and hits the kana, because we're going from the other side. If you shech the bird, he just decided to do something. Baruch Hashem on the obviously milika is from the back of the neck. What is it called in English? The nape? Okay. Hashoichet min atzavar shchitasik sheira. Obviously, when you do shchita from the front of the neck, that's a normal shchita. Hamoilek min atzavar. But if you do milika from there, milikasik psula, it's no good. And the Mishnah finishes off shekol ha'orev kosher l'milika. The entire nape, that's what you called it. The nape is kosher for milika. The kol atzavar, the front part of the neck, the whole neck is kosher l'shchita. And then the Mishnah says, Ninsa kosher b'shchita possible malika. Everything that's kosher by shchita is possible malika. It's on the opposite side. Kosher malika possible b'shchita. My oirif. What does oirif mean? Ilay oirif mamish. Oirif means on the other side of the face. This is the face. So oirif is on the other side, but it's on the head. My yirishaychad afilu moilek nami. You cannot do malika on the head. Why can't you do malika on the head? Mimul arpai amar achman. It's a mefurish pasuk that says not on the arpai, not on the head, but mimul arpai. Yeah, it's a little confusing. What's mimul arpai? The part that sees the arpai. What sees the arpai? Here, let me show you on this instead of the real bird. This is arpai. This part over here sees the arpai. This is mimul arpai. Arpai, mimul arpai. Okay. Elamai oiref, mimul oiref. So we have to say that oiref means underneath the head, on the nape. Kidiktani seifa, and I'll prove it to you because it says kol oiref kosher l'malika. The entire oiref is good for malika. Now, what is kol oiref? Look how small the head is. How are you going to do what's all? But this entire area, that means that I can understand why it says kol. From here all the way to here is a good area for malika. V'cheinu oimer minanimili. The Tanur Rabbanon, how do we know that it's mimul arpai, not arpai? The Tanur Rabbanon mimul arpai mul haroya so oiref, what sees the head, which is the nape that sees the head. V'cheinu oimer v'hu yoshev mimuli. Balak tells Bilam, "V'hu Klal Yisrael sitting across from me. I see them. I'm able to see them." So you see the idea of mul is that it could see. You could see, the nape could see the head. So now I have another pasuk that tells me that it's not the face, but it's behind the face. It's the oirif. What's the second pasuk for? I don't know what the oirif is. I don't even know what the oirif is. How am I going to know what sees the oirif? So I know that oirif is the opposite of the face. The face is on one side, the oirif is on the other side. In other words, the back of the head. So now I know that the oirif is the opposite of the face. And mimul oirif is down a little lower than that. It's the nape. Amri b'nei Rebbe. The two sons of Rebbe, the twins, the famous twins, Yehuda and Chizkiah, they come along and they drop a big bomb here. Mitzvahs melika machzer simonim la'achoyrei ha'oiref u'moilek. You thought that melika is one way? I'm going to tell you something completely different. Melika is like this. Moirdik. You got to pull the kan and the veshet and bring them all the way around to the nape, to the back of the neck, and then you could do a kvetch with your nail. What do you gain by that? You gain that you're not coming in directly into the spine. The way you do it now is you go into the spine, through the spinal cord, the animal's pretty much dead by that point, and then you continue going weiter into the kan and the veshet. It's kind of late, no?
It doesn't become treif.
Huh?
Because it doesn't become treif.
If you do it this way, it won't become treif. If you do it this way, it won't become treif. Mitzvahs melika, mitzvahs melika, machzer simonim la'achoyrei ha'oiref. You take the two simonim, the kan and the veshet, you pull it back behind the neck, u'moilek, and then you do melika. Ikeda amri, and some say, af machzer. You could also, if you feel like it, you could bring it back. If you don't want to, you don't have to bring it back. You can go regular. And there's another sheet that says only regular. What?
You should go through the spine.
That's not what. No. The first sheet of Chizkiah's sons is no. L'chatchila, you go and you do the simonim first and then the spinal cord. Mitzvahs melika machzer simonim la'achoyrei v'moilek. Yeah, the ikidamri is now. What's the word in the ikidamri?
What if you just twist the head?
No, so then it's not an oirif. That's not oirif.
It's still back here.
What do you mean twist the head? You're supposed to put your finger in.
This way.
No,
Then you go in.
you didn't gain anything. Twisting the head. It's. I don't think. Then either you're not going through the oirif or you did the simonim. You're not gonna. You have to physically pull the simonim. Rashi says over here, boys, in the second line. Look at the second line. Ba'avgav the melika kshera. Have a min hamelika. It's part of the melika. Rashi says, look, we know that if there's a tiny little hole in the veshet, in the esophagus, then it's animal's treif. So when you take your knife and you're going in slow motion, you know, those cameras that are able to capture, a million shots per second. So you go like this, and you hit the veshet with your knife, it became treif. A millisecond later, you went through the veshet and you did shchita. But there was a moment where you made this animal treif. That's not a concern. What if it took you 4 times to go back and forth to cut the veshet? It's okay. Keeping the shchita. So you could say that when you do a melika, that's how you do melika. You break the chut hashedra, and then you go to the kana and the veshet and the kana. But that's how you do it. That's how it's done. It's not you made it treifa. That's how it's done. Every animal you make it a treifa somehow in between. Some say you could also do it like that. You must bring the simanim to the back so you don't hit the mafrekets, you don't hit the spinal cord first. It makes a lot of sense, like the mandoma that says you can do both ways. The Gemara has a beautiful kash here. If by melika you have to pull the simanim to the back of the neck, Shouldn't that work also by shchita? Why doesn't that work by shchita? If you pull the simanim to the back of a cow's neck and shecht from the back of the cow's neck, it should work. You just shechted the two simanim. I don't care where the simanim were, in the front of the neck or the back of the neck. It should work. So why? The reason why it doesn't work by shchita is because we're not talking about such a case. It could work by shchita. In the Mishnah it says it's no good. No good. Why not good? It is good. Oh, because we're not talking about a case that you schlep the simanim to the back of the neck. And if you don't schlep the simanim to the back of the neck, it only works by melika when you come from the back and you kill. But by an animal, it wouldn't work if you shech from the back of the neck. Again, by an animal, an animal you don't touch, you don't mess with the simanim, and you take a knife and you go from the back of the neck, the shchita is possible. By a bird, if you don't mess with the simanim, you go from the back of the neck, the melika is kosher. That's what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah says it doesn't work by shchita, but it works by melika. But the question is, but I do have a way where it works by shchita. If I do mess with the simanim, I pull the simanim to the back of the neck, and then I do shchita. The answer is you're right. In that case, it would work, but that's not what we're talking about in the Mishnah. Omer Rabbi Yanai, Yikablu Aroivim es Shuvasa on these youngsters, these Yehuda and Chizkiah. I have a great answer to them. Diktani Nimtza Kosher b'Shchita Pasal b'Melika. It says the last words of the Mishnah are, it comes out that whatever is kosher by Shchita is Pasal by Melika. Kosher by Melika, Pasal b'Shchita. Whatever is good by Melika is no good by Shchita. Whatever is good by Shchita is no good by Melika. Lemuti Mai, what are you adding to everything that we already said in the Mishnah? Lav Lemutei Machzor Simanim Lachayr Oyev Deloi. Lachayr is coming to say this halacha, that you're not supposed to mess around with the simanim and pull it to the back of the neck. That you should not use a tooth or a nail for shchita. Says Gemara, I don't need our Mishnah to tell us that. We already learned that. We already had a whole Mishnah about Shen, Tziparin, the Magal, the whole thing, all the things that you can't use. That with your nail, you shouldn't go like this. You shouldn't use your nail as a. How do you do? Thank you. What do you do? How do you do Malika? Malika is actually drisa. What's drisa? A pressure, forward pressure. It's not a slicing movement of the nail. It's a forward pressure. So there is no drisa, obviously, in Malika. You go like this. And a back and forth movement is no good. And that's what the Mishnah comes to exclude. That's great if you hold that it's asr, but if you hold that it's okay, what do we do? Because the Yudin Chizkiah hold that Moilch Mevi is no good, and that's why we have the diuk in the Mishnah that it's possible. Omer Rav Kahana. Zogt the Gemara. Omer Rav Kahana mitzvahs Melika. How do you do Melika? What's the mitzvah? What's the best way to do it? And you cut the meat, v'yored, and you go down. You do a drisa. V'zu mitzvah. Two things. You cut the skin, go down in one swift motion or whatever you do it. V'zu mitzvah. That's it. You mekayim the mitzvah. Sorry, over here you can be medayik that if you go back and forth it's no good. No, the opposite maybe. Maybe back and forth is great. Why did it say only this is the way to do it? It's also another way to do it. Whatever is kosher by shchita, so by the opposite and the other side of the head is good by melika, which is a mafurish Mishnah. Possible shchita, possible melika. Sakim Yudaik. If it's not good for shchita, it's possible for melika. Lemute mai. What does it come to exclude? Ilay lemute ikur simanim. Oh, so now we're going to get into a sugya of ikur simanim. Thank you, Benny. You remember to put it here. This is the siman. Yeah, this is a kana. Ikur simanim just means that this popped out of its place. I don't know exactly how this. Okay, let's say the veshet. You could understand it better in a veshet, maybe. If it pops out of its place, it's not in there. So in a bird, you only have to shecht one out of the two simanim. But what if one of the two simanim is popped out of its place? What would that make the bird? Before you do any shchita, anything, popped it out. It would be a treifa. So he says, that the siman is out of its place. It's not an issue by a bird. You're right. It's coming to exclude that you can't do malika on its head. We already established this, that the malika is not in the head. The malika is below the head. Says the Gemara, my roishoi, shibu roishoi. Roishoi means the bottom part of the head, the end, the tail end of the head. Right over here, let's call it. He went in over here, but went downwards, here, right like this. Take a look over there. You go in a bad spot, but come down lower. The entry to the malika was in the head. You're not supposed to go in the head. But he eventually got to the simonim lower below. Does that make any sense? Lower below? Yeah. Not really. Further down. No. He was magrim. He was hagrama to the good. Hagrama for the good. And he went until he got below. So this is the case that we had by an animal where a person starts terribly, like, where was it? This one. The red arrow. He's going in the red. It's in the koiva somewhere. No good, no good. But then he takes a right turn and goes into the tabas hagdoila. That's great. Tabas hagdoila is okay. And he did 2 shlish in the tabas hagdoila, which is a good shchita. Nevertheless, we say it's possible. Why? Because the animal dies after using the first third in no good and the second third in good. So it didn't have a good shchita. Yes, you're right, you continued another third and you went all the way down, but it's too late, the animal's dead by then. This that you said, there's no such thing as ripping out the siman by a bird. Oh, so now Rabbi say, does a bird need to be shechted? We shech birds all day long. So here's the 3 shitas. One shita is Moshe Rabbeinu got it from the Rebbeinu Shalom and Har Sinai. The other shita is it's more than that. It's in the Torah itself. You make a hekesh between a bird and an animal, just like an animal needs shita, so too a bird. But there's one shita that says it's the Rabbanan. Interesting, only the Rabbanan. In other words, a bird is like a fish. You take a fish, you whap it on the head, you give it a good zetz, kill it. Take a bird, bang it in the head, and that's it. This only goes according to the Mandomet. It says there's no shchita to a bird from the Torah. But if you hold that there is shchita to a bird in the Torah, there's no reason to say that a bird is different than an animal. And therefore, just like an animal has ikor, if one of its simonim popped out, it's a treifa, so too by a bird. Because
maybe that's a machlokas of dom minal dom navoki abasra. Like, do we learn?
I hear the Gemara doesn't go into it really. The Gemara is going to say here. Take a look at what we say now. Omar le adrab ibchim istaber. The Omar leman do Omar yesh shchita loif minat Torah ikle meimad dachi agber deinikor. Fakert. If you hold that shchita is in the Torah, so you could say, oh, that's mamash what you say. Dachi agber deinikor. I learned that there's no ikor. It should be like everything like a behema. Behema has zikr, this doesn't have. But if you hold, it's going to be like a chomer now. If you hold that shchita is only midrabanan, so fakert, if you say it's a complete derabanan, then you have to learn everything from an animal. And ikur, if the one of the simonim popped out, is going to be a big problem. Omar Ravino, we'll finish over here. Omar Ravino, Omar Li Rovin Bar Kisi, Hodatoni Romer by Cheskel, Ein Iker Simonim Ba'if. There's that Romer by Cheskel said there's no Iker Simonim by a bird, there's no it popped out of place. Le'amorin Elo B'melika, Avo B'shchita, if you're doing shchita, Yesh Ikor. We'll stop right over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.